Hello, hello.
Hi, hello.
Hello, all the core developers. Please let me know if you are all ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Testing.
Okay. Okay, I think we have got everyone here. Let's start. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to TRON Core Devs Meeting 2. Today's agenda is first we have an interview of an overview of the lightweight blockchain and the lightweight node. And then we discuss tip 128. And at last, we talk about whether full node can get involved as if more people choose to deploy light node in the future. Since last meeting, do you guys who have any updates? No updates, okay. So, hello Michael, can you give an introduction?
Okay. Hi, everyone. Recently, some developers have reported that synchronized TRON public chain data from Scratch is very slow. At present, the whole data volume of the chain is more than 300 gigabytes. It will take at least 1 month or more to fully complete synchronization. It takes them impatient. Also, we provide a service for downloading the whole data of the public chain. If we download the data directly from the Tron Foundation official website, the amount of data used in the decompression process will be twice in the procedure, and it cannot be ensured that the data source is trustable. Many users may care about this point, so I think this is an urgent problem to be solved.
I have a question. Why the current full node data seems so slow? As a contrast, touchdown can take less than a week to sync all the data from full node to local DB.
Okay. I think there are two main constant time procedures. One is data transforming from one node to another, from one node to another, and then the second one is executing the transactions in the block. As far as I'm concerned, a Tron scan application does not execute the transactions but reads the state date directly, which means that it has the whole data of state storage in a KV store, and then it converts this state to their relationship database. Do you understand?
Yes, I got you.
Okay, I will continue. Thinking Tron node is a painful point for many people. Of course, there is not just a problem encountered by Tron. It is also true of Bitcoin and Ethereum. The normal home computer may cost too much to run a full node. As far as I know, it is absolutely impossible to use a mechanical hard stick for running the full node of Ethereum. And I think that the amount of data expansion will slow down the speed of query and updates the date. ECM currently has more than 3 terabytes of data, and the daily data increase is around 5 gigabytes. Okay, next I want to share some implementation of ECM for you. There are basically 3 types of ECM nodes: full node, light node, a half node, and there are two modes of starting ECM full node. It is full mode and fast mode. Both the full mode and the fast mode must get all the block headers and the block body data. The main difference is that the former need to execute every transaction for changing the state, but the latter does not execute the transaction. It will request the whole data tree after downloading all the block data, and it will save the newest state, but not the historical version of the state. When the new block is coming, he will update the state and save them. And the light node is designed just for implementing the SPV protocol, so it can be used by some mobile phone head. It just downloads the headers of blocks and checks whether the transaction is packaged in the block, and so it is usually used with a full mode node. It must send the request to the full node to fetch the local path of some transactions. Fast mode is the default way of starting one ECM node after the GAS 1.7 version.
What about the light node and the full node using scenarios? Can you give an example?
Yes, okay. The full node is mainly store the full blockchain data available on disk, and can serve the network with any data on request. And it receives new transactions and blocks while participating in block validation, and verifies all blocks and states. And one more thing, it can store the recent state only for more efficient initial sync, and all states can be derived from full node.
Oh, sorry, let me make my question more specific. I mean, for which type or which kind of users need to deploy full node?
Okay, block miner can deploy the full node, and maybe some independent organization like a wallet, block explorer can deploy the full node.
Oh, okay. So what about the archive node?
Okay, archive node is like the full node, but it must store everything kept in the full node. Also, archive nodes are only necessary if you want to check the state of an account at any given block height. For example, if you wanted to know the Ether balance of an account had at block height 5 million hundred, you would need to run and query Archive node.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
So I have questions. As you mentioned before about the different node, something like 9 node. So the SPV of the BTC is kind of Ethereum 9 node, right? They just do simply payment verify, right? They do that's just like minimum of a block header sets, like store all the block header data, not all the transaction data, right? All the state data, right?
Yeah. One light node just synchronize the block header from other nodes, and it will know the transaction root of every block. And when a transaction needs to be verified, whether on the chain or not, the light node will request the mocker path of this transaction from the full node. It can recalculate the transaction route using the mocker path, and this transaction hash, and then compare the new transaction route with the old one, which is get from the block header. It is
hash value, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So because of the feature of the hash tree, any bit change, so the hash root will be changed. So the transaction is divided. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's just like AWS. Some of my colleagues working in my company, they use the AWS to do fast start for node, just like they use the AWS Warrior. Because AWS, they do different. The disk, the memory, or CPU, other computer resources, they're totally separate. So if you want to start a new for node, you just copy paste the variant and then start a new for node. You just make a new image, a new something like that.
Yeah, you are right. But AWS provide an effective service for the database mirror. Some of our full nodes can pick up their data in a few seconds, rely on this service. But the most important thing is whether the user can rely on untrustable data. If they don't think this is a very important very important thing, so he can copy from others AWS big update.
Yeah, it's super fast. I think.
Yeah.
Hi, Michael. I have a question for you. May I know the current speed of fast mode? Will it be faster than full mode?
No, I don't think so. The fast mode is a default way or synchronized block used by guests. The date is the same as the full node, but the fast mode will not execute the transaction until the recent 64 blocks received.
Okay. So, are there any specific nodes for fast mode download?
I think fast mode doesn't know whether the node synchronized from is a full node or a faster mode. So I think it is same.
Okay, thanks. Hello everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Since we know that Bitcoin and Ethereum has do some works to solve this problem that you mentioned, I have an idea and wrote it in PIP 128. I'd like to state again. We can provide a tool that can split a snapshot data set and a history data set from a funnel. The snapshot data set is used for the fast startup funnel, and the history data set is used to complete history coded later. and present, for node needs all database data for startup except the file database. They are block index, trans, transaction read store, transaction history store. So I think the snapshot dataset needs to contain all database except this file database. And the history dataset is composed of about 5 database. And at the same time, in order to ensure the transaction verification function of the lightful node, the initialization logic of transaction cache need to be reconstructed. This is what I think. Anyone have a question?
Oh yeah, so why do we need to reconstruct the transaction cache?
Good question. Transaction cache now is mainly used for transaction deduplication. Transaction cache now is initialized with transaction data in the blocks, but after the split, the snapshot dataset does not contain the block data. Therefore, transaction cache needs to be reconstructed to ensure that the transaction deduplication function can work well.
Okay, so just checking the duplicate. Oh, so another question I want to ask. I want to understand the relationship between the snapshot and the history data, because all of those two from the for node. So what the relationship of those two? How you guys do?
Do you mean what's the relationship of the snapshot and the history dataset?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I think snapshot dataset is contain all the data, but is the smallest dataset that for node startup. The historical dataset is only contain the archive data that is only used for historical dataset query. This is what I think.
Oh, so you just mentioned the query, right?
Yeah.
So the minimum for node start like if you start for node from a snapshot. So if I do a query at this time, it will not support query any history transaction data, since all the history transaction data is from the history data set, right?
Alright. When you need to query the history data, you need to query a real for node, but not a light for node. But the light for node can merge the history data into itself to make sure he supports this query.
Oh, awesome. So they can get jump. Okay, and then so as you mentioned the checkpoint, that's very so interesting about the checkpoint. How long do checkpoint is being recorded, and also when you to start to a checkpoint. Yes.
There are two situations. If the latest block number of a for node is more than 20 behind the latest block number of the main network, then the checkpoint will be created. After every 256 blocks are synchronized. Otherwise, the checkpoint will be created every time when the solidified block is updated.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So in best case, like every 3 seconds, you do a checkpoint, right? Because every 3 seconds, a block is the kind of solidity state, right?
Yes.
So what this means is like there are a lot of I/O. I mean, there might cost a lot of disk read write, but I guess it does sacrifice any performance.
I think performance won't be affected.
Right.
Because we use LevelDB and RocksDB. These two DB have very high efficiency for read and write.
Oh, got you. Yeah, so the log structure level DB. Yeah. So it's like every time they're writing a full segment to the disk, you will not do something with like a random disk write. It's sequential read or write. Yeah, that makes sense. Interesting. So what about the in-memory data? How you handle in-memory data? If you do a checkpoint, right? Within the checkpoint type, the memory data would be loose if you do not do checkpoint, like, right? How you handle that?
The memory data will be when we put the memory data onto disk, we will first put the memory data. We will first create a checkpoint. After the checkpoint create success, then we put the memory data to disk. If the checkpoint is failed, there is a lot of details. I will put it on the GitHub.
Yeah. I think so. It's too complicated. It's like system crash, so everything's gone, but still you have a checkpoint. You can recover file. Yeah, that's the complicated thing we need to think about this. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. As you said, we can split the date in two parts. So where does the initial date come from?
Okay, it's a good question. The node must have been signalized to the latest block. Based on this, it's possible to use the filter of light full node. Yeah. So
okay. I also have a question. It seems that line node is a solution for block chain expansion. May I know the line node of TRON will suspend during copy?
Yes, exactly. We should stop the for node process because now java-tron only support level DB and route DB, and this only support this do not support more than one process access at the same time. And for another reason, even the level DB and route DB don't have this limitation. Splitting a running for node may lead to unexpected result. So we should better stop the for node. This is what I think.
Okay, but any solution for this kind of issue?
We can provide a new feature that the light for node can synchronize the history coded from the mainnet or mainnet directly in the future. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So I got some specific question for TIP 128. And from what I have read on GitHub, it seems the goal for this TIP is focusing on the node quick start. So which means you don't need to wait for quite a long time for the block synchronization. And I also read some other materials, such as from Bitcoin and Ethereum. They also define the light node as something called light client for their business concern. And SPV is also introduced in their conception. And I'd like to know, do we have similar implementation plan, or we will do this in TIP 128 as well?
Let me answer this question. The first thing I want to declare is that after synchronization, the light node will finally become a full node with full date. That is, the amount of the date of this node will finally increase to the same amount as the full node. So, but in a SPV node, there is only block header dates in there. So these are two totally different solutions. And the SPV protocol, we are developing on this. And about a couple of months later,
we will release it. Okay. So it's in a different TIP, right? Yes. This is. Okay. That's it.
Oh, sorry, I want to ask a question. As TRON Lite 4 node will grow into a 4 node, so eventually they will have the same amount of data. So when a Lite node starts, it needs not only to sync the latest blocks as are produced, but also to sync the history blocks. So how does it do it at the same time?
Yeah, this is a good question. I think there are two important points here. On the one hand, we need a minimum data set to reach a available state. Since our initial idea was to make a node with the farthest start, so naturally we need the date which can reach the available state to be as small as possible. So we need to remove the extra state. We must to find out which state is indispensable, which means we need to use this state to verify transactions and blocks. This is one important thing we need to do. On the other hand, we need a line node that can synchronize historical data while working normally. It can normally to verify the transactions and blocks. So the light node can. So obviously, there will be two thread pools to do these two different things, and they cannot interfere with each other. And we will use some new synchronization protocol to grant it. And this is another important thing for us. Okay.
Oh, okay, I got you. But because the light node data is not complete, especially at the very beginning, will light node provide HTTP service? I mean, for the APIs that depends on the history data, how do you do with that part of APIs? Like delete them or,
Yes. We know actually some APIs need historical data to return the value. Actually, these APIs are unavailable when the data is not synchronized. So we will add some extra information to the return value of these APIs to identify the current state of this node, which can remind the client that this is a node that has not been completely synchronized. In this way, the client can choose to call another node or something, or wait a period of time and try again.
Oh, okay. So it is kind of like there is a button, like the active button or the active button, right?
Yes, but it will ultimately to complete it. And yes, you call this API and you know the data of this node is whether this node's data is completely. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. I think in the future, if more and more people choose to deploy light node, which means the amount of full nodes running on chain will decrease. So in order to encourage people to deploy more full nodes, should the full node be rewarded? What's your guys' opinion?
Sorry, what? Should the full node? Can you pardon, please?
Yeah. Should we reward the full node? Reward. Like if you deploy a full node, you can be rewarded some TRX or something.
Oh, go reward. It's like give somebody money or give me money. Okay.
Yeah, like the current SR.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is very good. Yeah, maybe. I have no idea. But this is still good. Good idea. We can discuss here. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Who supports this?
I think it's a very important proposal to employment the full node incentive mechanism like the SR and the SR partners. This is a good discussion point. I think it will be implemented as a feature in the future.
But personally, I oppose that because I think reward the full node it is quite hard to manage because we have vote reward, we have block reward. For the vote reward, you can limit it to the top 127. But how can you apply it to the full node reward? If every full node can get reward, it may be out of control. So I oppose to reward the full node in the future.
Yes, I think the employment of the incentive mechanism is very difficult, as there may be an idea from me that we can ask the user who runs the full node submit some proof of the full node is online in the period, but it must be implemented in the code. And how to submit the proof of this is need to be discussed.
Okay, well, what's the other guy's opinion? What about you, James?
Bruce.
Oh, okay.
I have some opinions. So I think this is a question really more about the business of our user. It's really depending on their business logic. For some exchanges, such as they are really concerned more about their assets safety, so they will run a full node instead of your user or light node. So we don't need to actually incentive them. They will do that full node for themselves. And for other guys, such as some small group of users, they might really like some light node because they don't have some money for a full node storage, and they don't have the money to run a server, so they will choose light node. And for this, I think right. Go ahead.
Okay, so you what you're saying is like the users don't have the money to learn full node, but they have money to learn this node, right?
Yeah, they have money to run.
But as we discussed before, the lead node eventually they will become a full node.
Yeah, so this is what in the TIP, but they can for light node concern.
Which means in the future, still a full node, the user should pay the money to run full node.
I see. So based on TIP, based on this TIP, you're right. But I think for a more general concern, if it's really depending on the business logic for our user.
Okay.
Oh, so that is good point from Bill. So I got a question. Can the user who deploy a TRON node choose not to let the light node grow into a full node? Is that available? Hello, Oliver. Is that available?
We don't. This is not available, but some user can modify the code to let this work.
Modify the code. I don't think so. That is a different concern.
This is a good advice. I think. I think we can support this function to this, but this will bring another question. If everybody use the line node, which cannot eventually become a full node, so this line node will be everywhere, and I think this is not good for the network.
Yes, but we need to give the user an option to choose whether they want their light full node to grow into a truly full node.
So everybody will choose to not to grow the full node type.
Yeah, because light full node use less storage. The storage costs a lot, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, what about you guys' opinion? How about you, Bill? Oh no, KT, how about you? Hello, team.
Hello.
What do you think if full node can get resolved?
I think if line node grow into the full node, I think user can choose if they want to become full node, such as their device maybe not support full node specification. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hello, Crypto Chin.
Hey, hi. Okay. Go ahead. Okay.
Okay.
So it's an increased point to have a new word from full node or even light nodes, but it's a huge change on what we have right now. Like all the new words come through the block producing and voting. So we actually, I don't see any way to reward a full node right now. I mean, but it's a lot of things that we need to discuss about, because also we will make difference in the economic system, the numbers of TRX that put in the market and everything else. Another thing is ensure that the node is running a good machine. Because right now there are several nodes, but few of them is not running good machines and actually are dropping some blocks and can't catch up and keep synchronized. So it's not only think about how to reward them, but actually how to know if the node is actually a good node. Like for SRs, it's easy to know because if the drop the producing blocks, we can know if the node is good or not. For only a full node, how we can ensure that the node is always in sync and not lagging to catch up and everything? That's another question that we have to discuss about this.
Yes.
Yes, I agree with the crypto chain, and there are more things to concern, such as we might need to change the consensus. So this is quite difficult, and we may need to use some centralized ways to judge whether a full node is really what they are doing. So it might be really a difficult thing to do.
Yes, I think the full node means a lot to the stability of our ecosystem.
I think essentially if you want to get some historical date, so you must run a for node. If you don't need this date, you can run a line node, I think.
Oh, Oliver, you mean the data, right? Not date. Because I always think sounds like date, not data. All right. Okay.
I have a question. Can mobile device run the line node like iPhone or Android?
That means we deploy a light node on an iOS system or Android system. Is that okay, guys?
Yeah.
So,
hello, Matt.
I have a question. Sorry.
Okay, you continue.
I have a question about the light node. Actually, so the light node also needs to sync all the blocks from the beginning or not?
No, the light node is need not to sync from the scratch, but you must have the whole data. So you can download from our official website, and we allocated the util to split the database and split the database to snapshot and history date.
Okay, so you don't need to sync because you can download the data, but you actually need the whole data to start catching up with the new blocks, right?
Yes. Then if you have the snapshot and you can run the full node with this snapshot, but you don't need the history block, it will decrease the occupy of the hard disk.
Okay, thanks.
Hello. So Michael, I have one question for you. Is that, do you mean that the light node just need some sort of dummy block in order to start the implementation? Is that what you mean?
Yes. The full node can running with the snapshot date, and it don't need to store the history date for his running.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, who have more questions?
I want to ask a question. So when this feature the latter node can be implemented, so when we'll release this feature?
Maybe we will release it in the next month. So yeah,
next month.
Yeah.
So is it under developed?
After this meeting, we will start.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, who else got a question? think that's pretty much all we need to talk today. Today's meeting content will be loaded and published on GitHub. Okay, our meeting ends here.